Priscilla Presley has a name everyone recognizes, but a story few truly understand. Here's what you need to know about her life, her greatest loves, and her deepest losses.
Priscilla Presley experienced the downside of being a celebrity's wife early on in her relationship with Elvis Presley. The world had its eyes on the then newlyweds, and it seemed that Priscilla was overwhelmed by all of the outside opinions. At an event for her book, Elvis and Me, she explained that Elvis's manager, Colonel Tom Parker, didn't want Elvis to have a steady girlfriend. As a result, the couple tried to keep their relationship out of the public eye. Unfortunately for Parker, Priscilla and Elvis were not able to keep their love a secret for long. Tabloids couldn't get enough of this famous couple, which made things stressful for Priscilla in the early days of her marriage. At the Graceland exhibit at the Bendigo Art Gallery, she revealed, "The beginning of the marriage was very difficult, but I knew what I was in for because I saw it at a very young age. The media was so ruthless that Priscilla avoided newspapers and magazines when she went grocery shopping, saying, 'I found out how vicious people could be. There were rumors I was pregnant and that's why he got married. And I'm going, oh my god, this is not going to be good for me.'" Elvis and Priscilla's uncomfortable age gap made for a questionable relationship dynamic. At the start of their relationship, Elvis was 24 years old while Priscilla was only 14. To make matters worse, Elvis was reportedly fond of the teenager's youth. As told in Sgt. Presley, Our Untold Story of Elvis's Missing Years, Elvis supposedly told his friend, author Rex Mansfield, that Presley thought she was young enough that he could, quote, "train her any way I want." Priscilla opened up about the relationship in a piece she wrote for People in 1985. She shared, "Something in his southern upbringing had taught him that the right girl was to be saved for marriage. I was that girl. At the same time, he molded me into his woman. I wore the clothes, hairstyle, and makeup of his careful choosing." On ITV's Loose Women, Priscilla explained that Elvis's world took over every aspect of hers.
I didn't have my teenage years as a normal girl, obviously, so I had to adapt.
She would go on to say, "I just kind of followed what he did. I mean, you lived his life. You saw the movies he wanted to see, you listened to the music he listened to, you'd go to places that he would go." Although Priscilla often speaks fondly of Elvis, it appears that the couple's relationship wasn't the healthiest from the beginning. Priscilla Presley had a close relationship with her stepfather, Paul Beaulieu. For years, Presley believed that Beaulieu was her biological father because he raised her as his own, alongside her mother. The actor revealed in her memoir, Elvis and Me, that she uncovered the identity of her biological father while looking through a box of her family's belongings, revealing that inside the box was a picture of my mother with her arm around a strange man and, sitting on her lap, an infant. On the back of the photo was inscribed, "Mommy, Daddy, Priscilla." Her mother admitted that Priscilla's birth father, Lieutenant James Wagner, had died in a plane crash when she was only 6 months old. Priscilla opened up about her mother's reaction to the discovery in a piece she wrote for People. She wrote, "Mother suggested, so as not to endanger our family closeness, that I keep my discovery from the younger children. I respected her wishes. Years later, in a delicate discussion, it was brought up at a family gathering. It brought us all closer together." Elvis and Priscilla's relationship was far from perfect. It turns out that the musician did not remain loyal to his wife after she gave birth. Priscilla opened up about how her marriage took a turn for the worse after pregnancy in her memoir, writing, "Elvis had mentioned to me before we were married that he had never been able to make love to a woman who'd had a child. He held to this rule for some time after Lisa Marie Presley was born." Priscilla wrote in a diary entry during this difficult period, "I am beginning to doubt my own sexuality as a woman. My physical and emotional needs were unfulfilled." It appears Elvis did lose attraction to his wife after she endured childbirth. He went on to cheat throughout the relationship. On Australia 7 News, Priscilla recalled, "You know, he wasn't faithful. I tried to turn my back to that, but I just didn't want to share him. Simple as that. As much as he wanted to be married and have a family, I don't know if he was ever cut to be married, because I don't think he could ever be faithful to one woman." Elvis reportedly began his relationship with actor Anne Margaret after the two met on the set of Viva Las Vegas in 1963. This was before he married Priscilla, but presumably while he was already dating her. It seems that Elvis's controlling nature was too much for Priscilla, and she eventually reached a breaking point. In an interview with Loose Women on ITV, the businesswoman admitted that she lost herself in the relationship. However, she had no hard feelings toward Elvis.
And I did not divorce him because I didn't love him. He was the love of my life, truly.
According to Priscilla, her reasons for leaving were much different, saying, "If anything, I left because, and I still loved him, I needed to find out what the world was like, really." Priscilla and karate instructor Mike Stone had an affair. This relationship may have also been a factor in Elvis and Priscilla's divorce. It seemed that Priscilla didn't have the same struggles in her new romance. She revealed to Ladies' Home Journal that Stone's schedule wasn't as demanding as her ex-husband's. Although Elvis and Priscilla had their ups and downs, their love for each other was apparent. Priscilla spoke about her feelings for her late ex-husband. In an interview for the Sydney Morning Herald, she admitted, "I love him. I still love him. I've never not loved him. Ever. People will say, well, if you didn't stop loving him, why did you divorce him? It wasn't really him. It was the lifestyle. The lifestyle was very difficult, and I think people just don't get it." Elvis's death impacted Priscilla deeply. She recalled the heartbreaking moment when she learned of Elvis's passing during an interview with Entertainment Tonight. The actor traveled to Elvis's location, where he was found unresponsive in his home. She recalled, "They sent a jet to come, and going into that house and hearing all the people, especially his father, who I will, to this day, still remember him crying in such grief, howling, that it still resonates the loss and the impact." It appears that Priscilla is still grieving Elvis's passing decades later. She opened up about the tragedy during the 40th anniversary of the star's death. She told Entertainment Tonight that it was a devastating time for myself and of course the world to hear the news. And it's still unbelievable because he's so much a part of our lives, my life and my daughter's life and everyone around him. Elvis Presley's death left Priscilla in a stress-inducing financial situation. You may think Priscilla inherited the musician's wealth, but it turns out she took on Elvis's multi-million-dollar debt following his passing. The federal government added an inheritance tax of $10 million to Elvis's estate. Elvis departed with $5 million in his account, but this money allegedly had to be split between the singer's original executor, Father Vernon Presley, and his ex-wife Priscilla. Unfortunately, music royalties didn't help Priscilla out much either, because they primarily went to the RCA record label. As a result, Priscilla had to figure out how to get herself out of debt. This influenced the business-savvy mom to turn Elvis Presley's estate, Graceland, into a money-making tourist attraction, all while preserving the star's legacy. She went on to co-found Elvis Presley Enterprises. It looks like Priscilla managed to solve her financial hardships, as she's worth approximately $50 million today. Priscilla was left to raise daughter Lisa Marie alone after Elvis's unexpected death. Of course, Elvis's death made things more difficult for the grieving parent, but things weren't exactly perfect when he was still around. In an interview with The Guardian, Priscilla revealed that the superstar wasn't the most involved father. She admitted that she could never tame her husband, and ultimately came to accept that. It seems that, as a result, Priscilla stepped up to compensate for Elvis's occasional absence by truly focusing on raising their daughter.
It takes two in a relationship. Having a child, not being able to do the traveling. I was a mother.
After Elvis's death, Priscilla and Lisa Marie had moments of conflict. When Lisa Marie decided to marry Michael Jackson, Priscilla made it clear that she didn't approve of the relationship. Priscilla didn't want her daughter to repeat her mistakes, and she didn't take a gentle approach in letting Lisa Marie know how she felt. She told The Guardian, "As her mom, though, I was concerned, as I could see it could be a disaster. At that point, the right thing to do would have been to bite my tongue, but I didn't bite my tongue." Priscilla's involvement with the Church of Scientology may have also caused tension in her relationship with Lisa Marie. Page 6 reported that she may have bequeathed a portion of Elvis's estate to the controversial church. Lisa Marie parted ways with Scientology in 2014, despite her mother's supposed devotion to the religion. Lisa Marie Presley, Elvis and Priscilla Presley's daughter, lost her son when he died by suicide in July 2020. Benjamin Keogh was only 27 years old when he passed away. Keogh's tragic death hit Priscilla hard. She shared an emotional message on Facebook following his passing. "These are some of the darkest days of my family's life. The shock of losing Ben has been devastating. Each day I wake up, I pray it will get better. Then I think of my daughter and the pain she is going through, as she was a doting mother. Ben's father, Danny, who is completely lost as Ben was his only son." Lisa Marie took a long break away from social media following her son's passing, so it seems that Priscilla stepped up to issue the statement in her absence. Lisa Marie returned to Instagram in 2022 to address concerned fans and to show her support for director Baz Luhrmann's Elvis. The caption read, "I haven't posted in quite some time because there really isn't much to say, as I am and will forever be mourning the loss of my son, navigating through this hideous grief that absolutely destroyed and shattered my heart and my soul into almost nothing has swallowed me whole."
Priscilla Presley divorced Elvis Presley all the way back in 1973. In all that time, she has never remarried.
I really do value my private life.
But that doesn't mean she spent her life alone. She dated Marco Garibaldi for more than 2 decades. According to Page 6, the pair met in 1984 and welcomed a son, Navarone Garibaldi, in March 1987. The couple stayed together until 2006. So who is Priscilla Presley's former longtime beau, and what do we know about him? Professionally, Marco Garibaldi has dipped his toe into a lot of different industries. According to IMDb, he was the director for 3 episodes of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers TV series, and the producer for the 2009 film Across the Hall. The Daily Mail describes Marco as a Brazilian screenwriter turned computer programmer, which is quite a career turn. Further, the outlet reports that he and Priscilla lived together in Beverly Hills during their relationship. Daily Mail reports that Marco also wrote for the series Dallas, which Presley starred in, and they actually met because he wrote a script he wanted her to read. The Daily Mail notes that it's believed Priscilla also had Marco sign an agreement at the start of their relationship that he wouldn't write a book about her if they broke up. Though the agreement was only rumored and never confirmed, there is indeed no book yet. The Hollywood Reporter credits Marco Garibaldi with launching Graceland merchandise into a thriving business, and his entrepreneurial spirit even led him to found his own production company, Godfather Entertainment, to make high-budget movies in a whole new way. He said, "The studios are in business to spend money. I want to make movies for less and put every dime of it on the screen." In addition to the aforementioned Across the Hall, starring Brittany Murphy in 2009, the company's flagship project was a remake of Peter Sellers' cult classic, The Party. Jonathan Kesselman signed on to direct the film, according to Digital Spy, but it never made it to theaters because production was never completed. It is also unclear whether or not Godfather Entertainment is still operating. Marco keeps a low profile. One thing is for sure, he is a man of many different interests and talents, so who knows what industry he'll turn up in next. Priscilla Presley and Marco Garibaldi made sure that their son Navarone didn't feel the pressure of living under Elvis Presley's shadow. Priscilla told The Guardian that Navarone was independent of that, saying, "He wants to do his own thing, and I'm really proud of him. He doesn't want to step into the spotlight, and he's always been that way. He's not riding on Elvis, and he's not riding on Lisa Marie Presley. We have never been Elvis this, Elvis that to our children, because otherwise you're building up something that is almost unreachable for them." Navarone married Elisa Achille in Switzerland in February 2022, and his mother was over the moon. Priscilla told People, "They've been together for 4 years, and we've all been waiting patiently for this day." Even with their enthusiasm for Navarone's nuptials, Priscilla and Marco themselves never married. It seems she could say of Marco what she said of Elvis.
To be honest, I think we were better not married.
Navarone is 19 years younger than his half-sister Lisa Marie Presley. Their sibling relationship wasn't typical. After Lisa Marie died in January 2023, Navarone expressed his sorrow on Instagram, writing, "Big sister, I hope you are now at peace and happy with your dad and your son by your side." But Navarone hinted at some difficulties between the two of them, adding, "I know the past couple years weren't easy for you, and I wish things had been different between us. Regardless, you are my sister, and I'm sending love and prayers for your journey home. I still can't believe this. I'm lost for words. Love you, sis. Beijos." Beijos is the Portuguese word for kisses.